You didn't find this by accident. Stories like these find the ones who are already half awake. The dreamers, the watchers, the almost witches. Every word here is real, whispered from a life lived slightly sideways. You're among kin now. Welcome to the quiet unseen. The young woman wrote the 3 dots at the end of the sentence, an ellipsis, and paused, her eyes fixed on the spot, her brain wandering, her heart silent. She wanted to come up with a new name quickly and easily, thus attaching another label to a new milestone. She loved starting new things. The free witch got that dopamine high instantly and could live on it like on some fuel for a few days. Happily. So, how would she call herself now? The young woman kept thinking about it for days, using different variations of her current name and its foreign versions, as well as Latin words that might sound free and close to her heart. But when she tried to take a look at her personality objectively, to see what characterized her most of all, she realized that her brain sneakily took the reins over her heart again. Perhaps that's why it was always hard for her to talk about herself. Her brain and rational thinking often won this tug-of-war game with her sacred core, her heart. She also often got puzzled by the simplest questions from people, not knowing which way to choose, the most rational one or those that her heart whispered gently. "How are you?" asked her people. "I feel bad, but who cares?" she thought, and answered, "I'm well, thank you," as cheerfully as she could. "What do you do in life?" they asked. "In alphabetical order or by subject? Shall I send it by email? And is there sense in talking about something I would surely change very soon? Is it a question about my career, which possesses a minuscule, tiny place in my life? Or about the pursuits I love to do, those that take all my free time? Or maybe you are interested to know about my future projects, those that are already real to me, but non-existent to others?" She thought, but responded civilly. "I work as a receptionist in a hotel, or I work as an operator, watching over engineering systems in a big mall, or I'm currently unemployed, but searching for a job." Typical answers that most people would be satisfied with. Small talk, they call it. Outwardly, people saw her in a pensive state and perhaps thought that she was working out the best kind of lie, or that the woman was simply unable to form a simple answer. But there was always a whole pool of possible answers, and the free witch had to think hard and decide what kind would suit this particular person. But this time, that person was her. It's herself she must please now. It's for her new life. She wants to choose her name from billions of names. Finally, the witch got tired of that mental battle, and, like in the old days when she studied for exams at university day after day, and nights sometimes too, the young woman said to herself, "Stop it, you've done all you can. Now let's leave it to brew." She hoped the word would come up in her dreams, as it often happened, but she didn't get any signs or hints there either. Gradually, her mind got distracted by the river of life, this everyday current of things that we get ourselves into. The woman worked on her creative projects, tended to the garden, and did her usual set of chores. When the young witch felt that she could no longer stand the walls of her home, and her heart felt dormant, she dressed herself in something nice and comfortable and went for a walk. It was midsummer time. It seemed like everything around sang its tune of life on the highest note. Playful wind, slightly over-enthusiastic sun, tender whispers of greenish trees and a bit of dry grass, smooth melody of the river. Even gentle sounds of singing sparrows and martlets complemented the whole orchestra. The witch loved her spontaneous, unplanned walks. Even in her little town, they always brought some new impressions and ideas and helped her get back the sparkle that had started to be diminished by the crude reality of an ordinary lifestyle. As always, she took the route across their little river, over the roughly made wooden bridge. The witch loved to be near that river. It was a piece of the wild nature she was craving. They were like friends. When she felt lost or particularly sad, she came to the river and let it take away her sorrow. She didn't pause, though, and went further, across Central Park, through it, and strolled toward her former school. The woman didn't stop there and went on through little streets with different houses where strange people lived. The houses were sometimes so unlike one another that it seemed to her as if some were transferred from other realms. But that's how it is nowadays in Ukraine. The war suspended our natural growth, and the fabric of our lives began to get torn in weak places. The contrasts became too striking. Some houses were completely abandoned, with shattered window glass and torn-off doors, absorbed in wild growth, sprinkled with garbage. While other houses shone with new tiled roofs, freshly colored walls, and were surrounded by flowers. There were immense buildings, abandoned and scary, and little huts so sad and still cozy. She walked by, thinking about those people. What was their destiny? How did they cope? The witch plucked a few herbs and flowers mechanically. She sniffed a bunch of fragrant lilac blossoms, tender chamomile flowers, and silver leaves of the wormwood. The latter stayed in her hand the longest, and she realized that she had always loved its astringent smell. She remembered the old Ukrainian tradition on Ivana Kupala Day to decorate the whole home with green branches, put green grass on the floor, and place wreaths of field flowers on the walls or doors. Wormwood leaves had always been there, adding wild freshness and mystery. In local folk magic, this herb was used to scare off evil spirits, bad luck, or unkind people. It was also a potent herb for healing one's body, powerful and dangerous in the wrong hands. She had never tasted anything as bitter as this innocent herb and knew how strong it was. The young woman admired its elegant shape, delicate color, and unique fragrance. She had drawn this plant a few times, trying to reveal its secrets, to capture its fragile might. And then it dawned on her. This might be her. She felt honored to bear the name of this plant. Strong, protective, healing, wild, mysterious. Curiously, it seemed now that the plant chose her, not the other way around. The free witch looked up all the Latin and Ukrainian names of this herb, and tarragon felt like a new skin that fit well. And so, a new free witch was born, named Tarragon.